Welcome in, everyone. Flow and chart starting. If you're new to our stream, we look at unusual whales, market tie, look at Periscope, try to take some live trades if there's a setup. We'll look through some of the flow from today. We actually have a really good notable flow recap coming up here. I was kind of crunching the numbers here a little bit while it was a little slower today, and phenomenal week. Some big movers this week, so that will be a good one. Yeah, it's a really, really big recap. I can actually I just put them here just so I kind of have a little reference, but the three heat zones that we had here now was up 4% this week. GitLab 13.5, MU 14.2. These are just the notable flow ones. I don't keep these ones in the spreadsheet, but yeah, I mean, our numbers were really great, and this is a sell here. So a couple of these I got to edit and check after. I mean, Home Depot was really the only big loser of the week, but yeah, I mean, that's some big movers there. Big movers, but all right, that will be after close today, but let's first start with the trade that I took here. I took those DraftKings calls here a little earlier. Those are still kind of pumping a little bit there. Getting a little pullback now, but yeah, 43 cents up to 57 cents there. Yeah, that's, I mean, well over 25%. I know there was a question about kind of what I do here. I mean, these are up over 25%. That's a significant return where you're going into the weekend. Take some profits. Obviously, the whale's still there. We did have that kind of no side volume come in here. Have to check Monday, see what happens with that, if it's an ad, so on. They're closing out some of the positioning, but I mean, they're up significant. Just because that whale's still in and they're 21 days out doesn't necessarily mean you need to swing it, and especially over the weekend, a lot of headline risk opportunities. So just being smart. Nothing wrong with taking a 25% gain that same day. Let's take a peek at market tide here. Market tide it's still a bearish market tide, just because our call premiums are continuing to decline here. Put premiums are bid side as well too. So I mean, it's not like a strong bearish market tide, but you've got the really heavy bid side call premiums here and negative net volume here. So you're getting more bid side calls, ask side puts coming in here volume wise. It's not something where you're seeing a ton of ask side put premium where it's, hey, I'm gonna long term be bearish on anything there. But yeah, that's it's definitely something to kind of just monitor here. Just kind of keep an eye on your premiums. But as of right now, it's still a bearish market tide just because of that call selling and net volume are deeply negative there. But that intraday structure is kind of trying to somewhat improve from a super bearish market tide. Just that put premium has been declining here too. So it's just kind of flat. Nothing to really take a trade based off of anything there. And even kind of looking at our sector flow as well here too. Very light day of volume again. We're not even at 20 million here. We're at the end of summer. People are taking their Fridays off. I expected, obviously we have a really light audience here in the stream today, so it's it's expected. I expect this for another couple weeks here, at least until we kind of get into the beginning part of September. Kids get back in school, all that fun stuff there. But let's head over here. What's going on Periscope wise? Yeah, even Periscope's not really giving us a super clean setup here. That 7780 is our biggest gamma, and we've just kind of been pinned here for a good chunk of the day for the most part here. We'll see if we can get a setup going into close, but yeah, as of right now, just kind of have us hanging out around this 7780 80-ish area here, just looking for some changes here. And a lot of that negative gamma's kind of dropped off too, so we should see a little action going into close here. But flow wise, what have we been seeing today? Ooh, we just had these come in here. It does look like we have a dividend coming up here. I typically will say avoid kind of the dividend flow, especially if it's in the money. This is 6% out of the money. I do want to look at that previous open interest though. So this one, we got 10,000 contracts coming in here. I just want to see. It doesn't look like it's a big chunk of volume anywhere else here. I'm just kind of scanning here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a big chunk of anything else here. We're coming over the weekend though. Again, you know my my feelings about swinging over the weekend right now. It's just, too much headline risk. I'd rather not stress about positions over the weekend, worry about what's going on when I can just wait till Monday and get into something. And I mean, the tape's been really clean, or not clean, geez, pretty messy today. I mean, just look at all the multi-leg stuff here. This is all that's hit my flow feed here since, just after lunch here. I mean, there is just not much coming in here, just all multi-leg stuff here. We did have a couple put sellers that came in that looked pretty good here. Let's take a peek at those. We had the SpaceX pretty far out of the money put sells. All those are kind of doing good right now. 92 cents, they're down to 81 cents there. This tape looked pretty clean on here. Let me do this. Let's pop this out here. Got nice IV drop when it comes in. We're filling more at the bid. Looks like a bid sell or a put sell there. Neutral to bullish trade there. Already kind of making its move there a little bit. Pretty far out of the money too, 32% for 42 days. That's pretty far. And then we also have the Amazon one here. Another one kind of starting to make a little move there, 261. Just nothing major. I mean, 257 not. It's a premium collector. They're 9% out of the money. So like with something like this, you want to do cash secured on something like that. You do not want to absolutely short naked anything like that. But yeah, these. Oops, I just want to re-click that here. I don't know why I did it like that. Yeah, these here again, you see that nice IV drop, spot price dropping. They look like a good premium sell there. Let's see, what else do we have? I think we didn't really have much for notable flow, and then we had these CMCSAs. Yeah, the DraftKings we looked at. Yeah, SpaceX put sells. Then we have the DraftKings calls, which we already kind of looked at there. Amazon puts, and then we can look at these CMCSAs here. Let me find these in here. They shouldn't be too hard to find. We haven't had much flow here. Yeah, a little longer dated on these here, just kind of trying to come back to break even. 3% out of the money, 21 days out. A lot of ask side net call premium. That volume's pretty heavy as well. We look at the tape here. Let's remove that filter. Let's pop this down. Yeah, again, nice IV spike when that flow comes in. Spot is filling at the desk. We did have some flow a little earlier too at 11:05. Obviously, we don't know if this is the same person, but I just like seeing that kind of same timestamp there. That's unusual there to me. So I mean, when that came in here as a sweep there again, you have another IV spike there, and then this is 25 minutes later. Again, we don't know if it's related, but even from there, another IV spike and spot filling at the ask. Those look pretty good there. Obviously, a little longer term. We had that CMCSA flow from, I think, a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, and it made a good move there as well. Let's see. Oh, is that the one? Is that the one we just looked at? I think that's the one we just looked at, Pipsy. 9 foot. Oh no, it's not. 9/18/26. Oh, a put. Let's take a peek at it. Yeah, these just came in here. So I want to look at that open interest. So that volume's pretty close to that open interest. I just want to kind of look at that historical side of things here. Just make sure it's not a big spike and it doesn't look like there is. Just kind of glance that over here. I'm not seeing any big spikes here. So this does look like it's a brand new opening trade. They're 1% out of the money. Now let's take a peek at the tape here. See how that looks here. Remove that. Put our big filter on here. Yeah, again, I mean, I'd probably read these as a buy too. I mean, good IV spike when they come in. Spots filling at the ask here. Just kind of follow. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably read these as a buy too. The only thing I kind of, oops, go back here, sorry. Click on our date. The only thing I don't like is, it's still a lot of heavy ask side call premium coming in here. Now, this trade here, you can see, 205, 210 Central Standard Time. That caused that spike in put premium there. So it is a decent sized trade here, kind of causing that spike in the put premium, there's still a lot of ask side call premium. And even if we come over here, let's go look at CMCSA here. Like if I look at the last 14 days, let's see. Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of, I mean, it's a heavy day of ask side call premium today, which is very interesting. I think that's when our flow came in back here, 8.5. That sounds about right. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at that, just the highest volume chains here. Just a face value look here. How about that 828, 27.5 call? Yeah, these are brand new as well here. I want to see how these look. So yeah, I mean, you get that nice IV spike when they come in spots filling at the ask. Yeah, these look good too. A lot the flow looks good on CMCSA here. I'm just doing just a face value check overall here. I mean, it's a lot of heavy ask side stuff coming in here. A lot of it's kind of favoring the call side of things here. And then even these 9.4s, I just want to see how this guy looks here compared to some of the rest. Yeah, these almost look good here too. Let's take a peek at these. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Oh, these are the ones that we were looking at. Okay, so we want to look at the 27. I want to look at the 828. No, that's one we looked at there too. This guy right here. This one's just a lot of kind of ask side hits. There's a lot of open interest on this one here too. So you want to kind of watch that open interest there, see what changes on Monday. Because it looks like, we got this big 9,300 size candle here. That's a mix of no side, ask side, mid, and bid fill. So you're not going to get really clean direction out of that one. I'd say I like the call side of things here, just kind of looking at the gamma profile. Let's just take a peek here. I want to look at, nope, I want to go back to the summary here. Just kind of looking at that 7-day here too. I mean, that 26 kind of seems like it might act as a little support here. If we look at 35 days out, a lot of that positive gamma is above us there as well. Absolute gamma is 30, going to act as the strongest magnet and pin. We got support right here at 26 as well too. So as long as we kind of hold that support there, that's going to be good there in our gamma flip here. We're pretty much above that there. So dealers, we're going to stay in this dampening, well, technically kind of transitioning into it right now, but going to kind of see price dampen there. Dealers buy the dip, sell kind of the rips there, kind of more choppiness. But let's look at the heat zone on this here. So yeah, these just came out yesterday here. So I'm going to pop this. I'm going to do this for a month. So now bear with me because I'm still learning these a little bit here too, because they just came out yesterday. It's new, but like it's pretty much what this was here. It's just a different kind of format to look at it there. I like the heat maps. I'll get used to them. I always say this whenever there's something new. Just I kind of like the visual a little bit more on here, just because you can kind of see where that price is there. I'll get used to them there. I already kind of am getting used to them a little bit there, but like here, okay. So the cool thing about the heat maps here. So yeah, these heat maps just went live yesterday afternoon, I believe. I think maybe right after kind of close there. But yeah, like it's cool because you can click these here and you can just hover over everything here and it'll kind of tell you anything like the spot, just the flip zone, all that stuff. So like, okay, I want to see where that heavy positive gamma is. So I'll keep it on directionalized because it's going to give you that best kind of idea of if they're longing or shorting more so. Just there's a really good article, I can drop that in the chat as well, that kind of explains the difference between Periscope. So like the main difference between Periscope and this is Periscope is a 100% confirmed market maker positioning. It comes from SIBO. It's the only exchange that has SPX on it. This data is being pulled from everything here. So like you can switch this to like open interest here. So like when we look at the summary tab here, this is derived from open interest. This is only updated once per day. So that kind of second best, kind of back up there is looking at that directionalized volume. So that's telling you what's going on, estimated going on there intraday there. So again, it's not 100% confirmed market maker positioning, but it's that same concept of Periscope where, market makers are gonna sell at, if price is going into super heavy positive gamma, buy that dip, and then negative gamma's acceleration. It's that same exact thesis as Periscope. It's just not 100% confirmed market maker positioning. So let's take a peek at this here. So, okay, I just want to see where that heavy positive gamma is here. So it looks like it's on that 828 expiration. So if I just scroll over here, so when I'm looking at this little box here, so that now again, you're reading this from the market makers perspective here. So market makers are long calls and long puts there. So when you're seeing that long call there, so that means customers are short the calls and then short puts. So what's kind of sticking out more on here? There's more short puts coming in here. So that would, essentially be bullish there, just, bullish neutral. They want it to stay above that price here. And if we look at that as well too, that put wall is also that 25.5 here. So put wall is going to act as your support there as well. So then kind of looking at our negative gamma here, I can see, just clicking it here, you can see how it highlighted that 27 here. So that's going to show me that negative, the highest value negative node there. And this is actually the absolute gamma here. So 27 is the absolute gamma. And you can also see that actually direction wise, it's not going to update till the next day, but like, let me go back here. So if I switch this back to open interest, and let's see, it's going to show me 27. Where's that? 27. Maybe I think it's because I have more expirations on. That might be why. Like, let me just do all expirations here and see what it does here. Let's see. At third, so okay, there's your third. So that's why. So it's that 115.27 that's causing that 30 to be that absolute gamma. So that's kind of what's nice about the heat maps here. You can see, like, what expiration that is. That's why we weren't seeing it there when we had it only set to that 1 month there. And I was like, where is that there? But so, like, most of us are going to probably be looking at that kind of, shorter term stuff. There are long-term traders, but I think most of us are probably more shorter midterm traders. A lot of us probably don't want to wait 300 days to get something. So, like, okay, looking at this guy right here. So, like, okay, I'm clicking on here 26. I want to see what's going on at 26. Actually, I need to switch this over to directionalized. Sorry. So yeah, directionalized is better. Zero DTDs are nice though, Bean, because then you don't have to sit and stress overnight, especially over the weekend. That it's a stress saver. It's a stress saver. So okay, back to the 1 month here. So okay, I'm looking here, we're directionalized. Again, there's more puts being traded here, and they're the long puts. So again, from the market maker's perspective, they're long those puts. So customers, in a sense, would be short the puts. So they want that price to stay above that 25.5. That's our put wall there, going to act as our support. Now let's look at our negative gamma here. So I'm going to look over here. So hey, look, market makers are short 364 calls. So that means customers are long those calls, and then they're long puts, so they're short puts there. So like, this is something that kind of sticks out to me, like that 9-4 expiration. I'd kind of keep eyes on that 27 strike there just to kind of see what happens maybe. I mean, it could potentially, it's going to be an interesting spot there. And you can also click on here. I just kind of like doing the scroll over there. It's easier to look at there. But yeah, I mean, like, if you wanted to look at this on 0 days, like, let's just do 0 day here. Let's go call wall. So okay, 181's at call wall. Again, it's not a heavy number. So like, if we can look at Tesla, because Tesla was actually a pretty good example today here. So like 27.5 here is their long calls and long puts. So market makers are short puts and short calls there. So, it's almost kind of a pinning action here, just because that calls and puts are kind of similar there. Now, if I look at the negative gamma here, I just want to see what that is. So again, their market makers are long those, or sorry, market makers are short the calls. Market makers are short the puts. So customers are long calls and long puts. So, I mean, it's kind of, it's almost that kind of pinning type action here. And you can see that kind of reflected in the price where we're just kind of sitting here. Like, if we take a peek at this here, like, look at our kind of movement for the day. It's just kind of choppy. So like, okay, I want to pull up Tesla here because Tesla was, oops, not Tesla, duh, whatever that was. So like Tesla here. Tesla was actually a really good example here. Where's my gamma? And I think it might change, so I don't know if it's going to look super good here, but that call wall was 350. So again, just kind of looking at that directionalized volume there. Market makers were long 3.3 million, give or take, calls there. So customers are short those calls. We came up to 350, and you notice that's our call wall there as well. So that's going to act as your resistance. Price absolutely just nuked there too. So I mean, again, it's that same sentiment where price likes to gravitate towards those heavy positive gamma nodes, but then just understanding that market maker reaction there too helps a little bit as well there. So like another one here, like I was watching MU a little bit here. It kind of made its move pre-market, and again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to always hit that target. I wish it did because that would be awesome. But like, okay, we look at our positive gamma here. It changed a little bit. Okay, so like 980 here. So it was 1,000 pre-market, but we kind of came up so 980. So they're long those calls there, and or market makers are so actually customers were long calls here at 980. So keep in mind here too, we were up significantly on the day, and I mean we're up decently right now too. Now again, it's not a science where it's going to come and hit it all the time. I like kind of catching that pre-move here. So like what I want to do over the weekend, I kind of want to redo that heat zone area, and I'll probably post them over at in the evening, or I think evening would probably be best, just so we can kind of catch that preemptive move there, because intraday is going to be tough because it's going to be kind of bouncing around there. I think the best solution is starting out here, find which names are getting super strong gamma here. Like I really like this area here. So I mean, just kind of looking at this here too. Again, we're up $25 on the day. Look where all that positive gamma was, kind of that 500-ish there. So we kind of broke through that there. Again, price was kind of, just visualize it in your head. We were trading, 480s here. Price comes up. We hit our 500, and you see how it kind of stalls in that area a little bit. Did break through, obviously, but we you also can see, let me just pop over here. You can see there's other kind of positive gamma above us as well too. And even that 7-day out view there, we had some on 500 as well too, which was the absolute gamma. So it's nice to catch it kind of as a, obviously you want to catch it as a preemptive move. Like if you go and look at our heat zones from Sunday there, now GitLab and MU, they all printed this week there. So I mean, that's what we want to kind of do there. I was just kind of messing with them a little bit more today just because they were brand new and they look fun. But yeah, just it's that same concept of Periscope more so. And if we do them in the morning, the only thing is you're gonna get that kind of open interest value change, which is good, but we kind of want to see it at night as well too if you're trying to plan out a trade. But all right, let's hop back to the flow feed there. Yeah, those are going to be fun. I mean, not even been a day with those yet, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I just got to get used to like the reading of them, because it's always, I mean, because you see other services with it too, and it just reminds me of an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm just like, oh, I hate reading Excel spreadsheets so much. I love that summary tab. It's a way cleaner view. But all right, let's see, yeah, they're fun. They're cool. And just one more thing on that here. So I mean, like, again, you just look at that gamma here. It's under that spot tab, and then just kind of make sure, and it will not stay on directionalized or volume pre-market, because there is no directionalized volume there pre-market. It'll just be on open interest, which that open interest is also what you get right here. Again, I like this tab a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, starting out in this area and then kind of moving to that spot with that directionalized intraday seems to probably be the best move there. But yeah, that it'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right, let's take a peek. What's Periscope doing here? We are just kind of pinned here right now. I do like the kind of range we're forming here. So, I mean, we got a range between 7790 and 7780. We got negative gamma right here in the middle. We might just kind of range between this area right now. Just, I mean, you can kind of see that range, how it's forming right here. I mean, here's your range, top of the range, bottom of the range. And Bean, I was gonna tag you too earlier. I know when you said something about putting something into an account, I was like, you should do a account challenge. That'd be kind of fun. Do an account challenge. That'd be cool. I wish I had the patience to do one. Like I've always wanted to kind of sit and do like an account challenge. I just don't have the like patience, and it's tough with whale watch and all that too. But I was like, man, that'd be fun. Yeah, that's just a fun little account challenge. I wish I had the patience to do that. I just feel like it's like I have so much pressure on me then. All right, what's going on, Ed? Yeah, if you no, you're good, Veen. I get it. I get it. I get it. I got it. Any flow you guys have seen today, or anything you want me to check out specifically? Questions? These CCLs were kind of interesting here. It's a big opener. They already kind of made a quick little move, but they're still in 3% out of the money with 14 days. Take a peek at the tape here. Yeah, nice IV spike when they come in as well. Spots filling up the ask all at the same time, just kind of following this up. These look pretty good. Depends what kind of challenge do you want, Bean? Do you want like a tough challenge, like a patience challenge, or like something like unrealistic? I think, you know, I think like if you want to like be really strategic, yeah, I was gonna say almost 500. Like it's a really good starting point, and it makes you kind of be patient. Like, you know, it shows you can grow $500 instead of like, you know, if you start with like 5K in an account or something, like, okay, that's it. You know, for a lot of people, they don't have 5K to just kind of throw around and throw into accounts. I think 500's like really, you know, a good sensible kind of starting amount there. Just it's more realistic too, and you know, like, because you'll see people, I'm gonna do $100. Like you're not gonna turn $100 into anything else. That's just ridiculous trying to turn $100 into something. But yeah, I think $500 is a really good like starter, because you can get flow. Like, I mean, like the DraftKings flow here. Let me just pop this over one more time. Ooh, we got some purple coming in here. Like if we go over here, oh no, I want to go up here. So like if I mean like the DraftKings, like these were 43 cents a contract. Like, you know, you can do, and these have time on them too. Like that's a cheap contract. Jeez, that thing ran. They dipped a little bit there. I got stopped out at like 18% back in here, but that's okay. But no, I mean like these, like it's really good discipline. Like it shows, you know, you don't need to buy $500 contracts to be profitable. Like here, I mean, if you would have got two of these, I mean, these are up 25%. You spend, you know, $100 on it, you make $25 on a 500% portfolio, or 500% portfolio. On like a $500 portfolio, what is $25? I mean, that's probably like what, 2% maybe. I mean, that's, you know, it helps. I think people just understand, you know, you can make money off $500. You don't need a $30,000 account, and especially if you're starting out, like you should not be trading with like a massive account, because you will, and I don't think this is a super big leap of faith. Like you will probably blow an account, or you're gonna blow, like if you're a brand new trader, you're gonna probably blow 2, 3, 4 accounts. So like I almost like, and again, you know, everybody has different financial situations where starting small, that $500 to $1,000 contract, or geez, $500 to $1,000 portfolio. Like you like, yeah, if you blow that, at least you're not blowing like a $30,000 portfolio. I'd rather blow $1,000 a couple times versus heavy portfolios, just because you see other people trading heavy size. They've probably worked up to that there. Yeah, I mean, it's, well, and then when you have that much capital too, like the thing is you're gonna probably start trying to average down, like at least if you're on like a $500 account, $1,000 account, you're gonna kind of manage your risk a little bit more. But yeah, no, Bean, I agree. The starting luck is real for sure. And I feel like most people too, like when they get those big, massive like starting luck trades, it kind of messes with your mental and all that because you start thinking, oh, I should be getting 100%, 150% each trade. Yeah, that too, that too, that too. Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, I had that too when I started there. Um, I had that too when I started where, like, you get a big, massive win and you're like, "Oh, I'm unstoppable," and then that's kind of where I think that issue of you try to start averaging down, like, "Oh, this trade's gonna go in my direction." Like, I remember one of my first times trading, it was, uh it was like the Friday or I don't Friday, it was the day before Christmas Eve, and I was trading 0 DTE spies and I just kept averaging down, averaging down. I'm like, we're gonna go back down, we're gonna go back down. It was just one of those super low volume environments where it was just trending up the whole time. And it's like you that was after, I mean, and that was probably like a month or two into trading, and it's like, yeah, like you have to be very, very, very like for sure almost that you're gonna get a move there. And that's, I mean, because like if you're trading a 0 DTE on this, you're gonna get chopped up really quick here. That's kind of why I like the futures a little bit, because I'm still getting used to that where there's no theta decay on the futures, and I'm like, we're chopping. I need to get a move here. I need to get out of something. Yeah, the trending days are, yeah. Unless you're me and you try to go against the trend, and because I remember it was puts that I got to, and it just kept going up, and I was like, yeah, that's, yeah, not fun, not fun. But yeah, no, I mean, it's I think those, because you see people, $100 account to a million, like just work on being good with your trades and executing properly. Don't try to go to $1,000,000 or anything. Just be smart. Use your risk, because you could trade $100 portfolio. You're just gonna have to be very, very, very selective and have really tight risk. Like 500, I think is a really good start. Sweet spot to start. All right, what do we do? Yeah, see, this is what we do. We do a risk management talk on Fridays when we're doing. I mean, but Bean. So like, there's a difference with that too. Like you're if you're hopping into a trade, you're planning it to be like zero or hero pretty much. Like that's different. Like you're going into that with that mentality already. Like most people, like me, when you saw me go into the DraftKings calls earlier, I only went in half a position because I was like, okay, well, if they're a little longer dated, I got a weekend coming up. If there is a drop, maybe I want to average down. Like if you plan out like kind of scenarios like that, that's a different story. Like if I was in a full position and I started averaging down, I'm gonna get hurt probably. I'm gonna get hurt. But like if you plan the average down, that's a different story. Like, hey, I'm gonna do a quarter of my position, like especially on longer term stuff. Like if they're 40, 50 days out, like, hey, maybe I'm gonna start a quarter of a position here, and then if they drop 10%, maybe I'm gonna do another quarter of a position. So then I'd be at half my position size, so on like that. Yeah, Bean, but see, and the difference with you is you know how to read premiums and all that. There's a difference. I wouldn't. I'd say yours is more of a educated looking for something. It's not really just diving into the deep, trying to play us off like you don't know what you're doing. Psh. All right, I want to look at these Nokias here. Kind of messy here. We got that big bid side there before. See, and Bean, I think you might like the heat zones just kind of with that kind of 0 DTE thing too, just because it's kind of targeting that 0 DTEs. I think, yeah, I think you like those. I think you like those. All right, anything else? Yeah, it took me a while to kind of get Periscope. Like, it's I once I started thinking of it as like kind of like, you know, the house wins and you start kind of I almost like the positions a little bit more than the gamma, just because I'm thinking at it from like a customer perspective, like, hey, customers are getting calls. How are you going to get paid? If you're buying a bunch of calls, you need price to kind of go up. That's kind of the way that I think about it, and then just kind of know what the mechanical reaction is like when you get to the gamma there. It's a different way. Like, I mean, flow will always be my bread and butter there, where it's kind of just, you know, I don't want to say simple because it's not, you know, simple to just go out and read flow. Like, you're looking for certain things in it, obviously, but you know, I feel like flow. I mean, you can pull up a piece of flow and I can tell you in like 2 seconds if it's something I'd be interested in. Like, it's just that's 6 years of reading flow though. And then, I mean, like, even like looking at stuff like this, you know, 7 days out, like, yes, the flow might look good, but then just understanding the contract fundamentals of it, like, these aren't super far out of the money where it's impossible, but like, you know, you got 2 days of theta decay, you know what's going on in the world. Like, hey, there could be a big macro event over the weekend that you don't want to get trapped in. There's just all those things there. Yeah, I'm those, I mean, the ascending fills are your textbook flow there, or descending if you're looking for premium cells there. Yeah, nope, you got that right on the head here. I mean, that's why I kind of like that. Like, if you come in here to the flow alerts, you can just filter everything out and just do that repeated hits ascending fill, which is nice if you're just, I don't want bid side there. That wouldn't make sense for an ascending fill. Like, if you just want to see calls, I mean, you're like, this is a really good spot if you're, you know, especially if you're a beginner trader, because if you're looking at the flow feed here, I mean, like, here, I mean, all this flow in here, you're not getting that actual rule here, at least in the flow alerts here. It has to tag that rule. There has to be that ascending fill there. So like, hey, okay, let's look at these Palantirs here. They're, you know, 9, 17, 20, 27. They're repeated hits ascending fills. Let's see how that looks like. You know, at least it's kind of got that rule to it. Yeah, like, look at that right here. This is good textbook flow. Here's your ascending fill, spot price goes up. Like, here, like, I would say these look very, very good. Now, you know, 399 days out, that's a whole different story, but just from a flow standpoint, this is what you want to see. Exactly this. IV rising, spot price rising. Like, let's just click another one in here. Let's do like the space calls here. Okay, not that one. That one's kind of messy. Just try to see if I can find one that's not super messy. Super messy. Okay, like, okay, CBRS on, and this might be kind of messy too. Like, okay, let's just see. Again, here you go. Here's your IV rising here throughout that feed. Your spot price is rising. Like, this is exactly what you know, you're looking to flow for in a flow standpoint here. I mean, IV's rising, spot price is rising. That's what you want. Now, repeated hits are good still, and I mean, all these, you got all the different rules in here. Like, if you're looking for something specific and only want that rule, like, your feed's going to be a little quieter, but you're not going to have to sit here and look at every single little piece of flow, which is nice, unless you're like me and you do want to look at every single piece of flow. But it's good. So like, okay, Periscope here. Oh, hey, we killed 30. That was a quick 40 minutes there. Geez. So what I'm seeing here right now in Periscope, so like, well, we're looking at this, we've held this 77.80 pretty much all day. You can see positive gamma here. So again, when price falls into that positive gamma, dealers are going to dampen that move. It's going to act as support there. You can see we've just kind of bounced off that there. Now we got that big negative gamma spike here at 77.85. I have my positions tab over here. So that negative number there is telling you market makers are short the calls. So opposite of that is customers are long the calls and short the puts. So for you to make money, again, this is where that kind of, you know, game theory thinking comes in. If I'm a customer buying a bunch of calls, I need price to go up to make money on the calls, and I want price to finish above that 77.85 here to make money. Obviously, you don't want the puts to expire in the money. Now, again, it changes minute to minute, so that's the thing where you got to be kind of, you know, agile with that there. Now, like, I'd have this as a range here, so 77.90 here. Market makers are long the calls, So that would mean customers are short the calls. So, they kind of don't want price above that there, but you see them kind of building up here as well too. So, I mean, you're kind of just looking for the big gamma nodes more. So like right now, I would just kind of have this as a range, maybe between 77.90 and 77.80 here, just because you're going to see that price dampen when we come up to that 77.90. But this negative gamma here, again, like when price goes in a negative gamma, it's going to act as acceleration there, where dealers are going to have to, chase that price action up or down depending on which way it's going. So like when you're in those big negative zones, that's why you hear me say I don't like trading in the middle of those, because we can kind of whip up either way. So like what's going on right now is you can see, well, they're kind of dropping off a little bit here, but that 77.90 is dropping off as well too. So like if price gets up there, like it's still going to act as some solid resistance, but it's not as strong from that 10-minute kind of time frame there. So we'll see what we can get, and I do want to pop this over to ES because we should get a trade coming in here into closing. That's why you'll see me like take like really quick scalps in here too, especially near close, just because it is very volatile there, and got to take something for the stream there. But yeah, I'm just kind of watching what's going on right now. All right, anything for flow coming in here? What these Apple puts? Not the best fill, but let's take a peek at them. Oh, where's my net premium? Let's try that again. Okay. Well, big spike in that net put premium right now. 1% out of the money. So like 1% out of the money is not bad for over the weekend. Obviously, you have stronger Greeks on something like that. So like, oh, here we go. Here's a repeated hits ascending fill. This is a textbook piece of flow. Here comes your rising IV. Spot prices rising here. So now they're not filling right at the ask, but I like seeing that fill ascending there. IVs rising. So I would lean buy to open on these. I'm not going to post these just because they're over the weekend, though. That's the only thing I dislike about them is the short datedness. And you got 2 days over the weekend where, anything can happen as well, too. So, I mean, that's from a flow only standpoint. I love this flow. Like if this was Monday or Tuesday, I'd post this no problem. It's just over the weekend. And obviously, you guys in the stream can do whatever you want with some information like this, but from my standpoint, like, I'm posting it to a group full of people. I don't want people to get hurt chasing the wrong flow or trade or something. I'm not going to post something just to post it, but like this is really good clean flow here where, IV's rising, spot prices rising. You're at the same second fill there. You can assume it's the same trader. And just looking at that there, it's 1,200 contracts. Why is my volume not showing? What's going on there? Let me come back here. The 1,200 is greater than the 286. We don't have any big other spikes here throughout the day. This is a clean opening trade. This tape looks good. I like the spike in net put premiums, positive net volumes dropping, call premiums dropping. I mean, I'd say I like this flow. If this was a Monday or Tuesday, I'd post this flow. But just for the sake of things and not getting people hurt, because with my luck, if it's over the weekend, something will come out and I do not want to get anybody hurt. Okay, so this is turning into an interesting situation here. So that positive gamma down here is dropping off a little bit here. So they're still building up here at 77.85. So they're building that, the customers are building that long call position. That positioning is dropping off down here, but they're dropping this off a little bit as well too. So what I'm seeing right now is they almost kind of want to run this up a little bit here. So we'll have to see what happens. We got market on close in 7 minutes, but I'm just kind of watching that 77.85 because I would like to see some other gamma continue to grow up here because we could just pin in this area. If this gamma continues to decrease at 77.90, we could just pin at 77.85, and that would not be fun if you're trying to trade and you just pretty much, end at that spot there. So we'll keep watching this. We're going to probably see some more changes, some bigger changes here as we get closer here. All right, let's head back to the tape. Anything in here? And there's another change there. Yeah, so it's building up here at 77.85. I think they're going to kind of try to pop this a little bit here. Might have a little room up to 90, but again, still kind of in that range a little bit here. Just very, very tight range where I'd almost lean longs here, but MOC in 6 minutes, I will kind of hold it because I'm just kind of looking at that price action too. Like you don't really want to sit in something like this right now. It's just so choppy and frustrating. I mean, you guys saw, I think was that Wednesday, where we sat in a trade and it just did this for half an hour, and it's miserable to sit in something like that. But I just want to see, I'd like to see them just kind of pop it a little bit so you guys can kind of see how, that acceleration could go up there and maybe touch that 90. Take a look at D nut. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, give me something to do. Give me something to do. D nut. Oh, we just had a Krispy Kreme open by us by like a year ago too. Oh, this guy right here, the 1120. Let's see. This one looks to be single leg here. This came in back here. I mean, pretty long dated. I mean, this was it was an ascending fill here too. 17. Ascending fill. Yeah, so I mean, this is interesting here. So see, yeah, I mean, your IV's trying to rise here. Then it kind of drops and it rises again. Spot prices there. You see that IV kind of rising here. Yeah, these are interesting here. This is definitely a little, I'll look at that other one there too. I mean, I'd probably lean buy to open on these here. I mean, what else do we got? I want to look at that other one here, that 821. Man, these almost, I mean, 4% out of the money, 7. IV's kind of high on those. I'd be a little more concerned with these over the weekend. Yeah, it's got your favorite L pattern. That's not something you want to take over the weekend on something like this. These are right at the money too. Look at that big IV spike when they come in though. Massive IV spike. Spots filling with ass, but then you kind of get some drops in that spot there. Just kind of looking at that. I mean, I'd almost, I mean, they look buy to open almost to me. I mean, if you're going to make me trade it, what's our gamma look like on it? Summary. Let's see, 3.5. I mean, 3.5 is your, what do we touch for a high here on the day? Oh, we did hit that 3.5. So, I mean, got kind of a good example here. When you come back here to that gamma, 3.5 was that kind of, and it's a tighter view since it's a kind of smaller dollar figure for a stock. We hit that 3.5 and we kind of rejected there. Put walls down at 3. Yeah, it's such a wide. That's the only thing I don't like about those, $5 stocks. I mean, you get this is a 36-cent gap and it's a 10% move. I mean, I'd probably lean buy to open on those there. Let's look at the heat zone here. I just want to do 1 month on here and see how it looks. Yeah, so I'm looking at this. Oh no. Ooh, why is my directional eyes not available? Exposure broken out by, interesting. Okay, so it must not be, okay, interesting. All right, so we're just gonna have to look at open interest here. So I mean, they're long calls there at 3.5. I mean, it's assuming they're long calls there, and then what's there? Short puts and long calls. Yeah, I mean, I'd have it almost as a bullish read there. That 0DT had that most of it there. What's next week? Yeah, that 3.5 again. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you just look at these here. These are the same candle since it's switched on that open interest is here. I mean, it's a 3.5 there. Yeah, that's a tough. I'd probably lean buy to open on those contracts if you made me trade it. Oh boy, that's an update and a half. We lost all that gain. I got to go back a couple minutes here and look at that. That's a big decrease. Okay, so let's just kind of look at this minute by minute. So, okay, our 77.90s decreasing. That's a big decrease there. So that's kind of losing that resistance spot there. What's going on up here? They're kind of unwinding those calls here. They might try to pin it here at 85. Let's just kind of keep watching this. All right, let's move this back live. Yeah, as of right now, I just kind of have us pinned at this 85 here. Yeah, the D nuts are really interesting, and I know that thing went on a run. I think it was earlier this year, maybe early last or late last year. But I remember that thing going on a run for a couple weeks, and it could be like her. Actually, let me look at one more thing on it. What's the short interest on D nut? What do we got on this? Where's our shorts? A lot of short interest on it. Not as much as what Hertz was. Look what Hertz was. Look at that short interest on Hertz there before that big rip up there. Yeah, I mean that's definitely interesting there. Definitely interesting. Oh man, we might kind of. Well, you can see how it kind of popped a little bit there. We'll see if we can get a trade coming into close here. I mean, I gotta see something kind of move in our direction a little bit more, because this is just telling me 77.85 is going to kind of probably be our pin area. Oh, it looks like Trump's talking right now too. We're making fortune with tariffs. Okay. Yeah, the Dina, like that wouldn't be like a bad piece of lotto flow. Pipsy dropped us the Fermi 8 calls here. Kind of far out of the money. But let's take a peek at them. Yeah, I'm not. Doesn't look like we're gonna get a lot of context in this one here. I mean, your IV does pop when they come in. Spots filling a cent below the ask there. I just don't like how far they are out of the money with 8 days to, or not 8 days, 14 days to go. Let's just look at that gamma on it. Let's pop over here. That 7-day out. Yeah, we got kind of a lot. I mean, 6 would maybe act as a little support here. You can see that's our call wall as well there, or put wall, excuse me. Put wall acting as support there. Your gamma flip is at 679. So until we get above that, we're going to kind of see, some acceleration more so. I want to pop over to this one here. Let's just look at it here. Fermi, let's take a peek. So next week, the 821. Ooh. What happened there? Okay, 820. So, okay. There's short calls, so that's kind of... I'd almost have that 7.5 your call wall, and yep, that's what it has. It has. Then down here they are long puts actually. So yeah, there might be some acceleration here. I don't know if I would like those calls there. Yeah, little interesting one there. I know this thing. It's almost seems like it's kind of a meme, almost just the way it kind of moves. More so. All right, let's see. What's our market tide doing? Yeah, market tide just hasn't really finished. The call premiums are trying to kind of tick up a little bit here. Net volumes decreasing, trying to get a little closer to zero. I want to see if we can get a trade here into close here. Just got to see something pop in a different spot here. Otherwise, I mean, 77.85 is going to kind of be that pin spot there. AMD. All right, let me pop that AMD over quick here. Holy jeez. Holy but Jesus is right, Bean. Yeah, I think all those made a good gain today. Yeah, AMD was actually one that I was kind of looking at the heat map yesterday too. Like, look at your gamma heat map on this one quick. Oh yeah, 0 day. Again, we were just kind of looking at that. 500 was the absolute gamma on the 7-day and 0 day. Yeah, I mean, we were trading way below that 500, so there goes your pop up there to that 500. Jeez, some big gains on that guy there. So they're kind of building up a little bit below us here. I might try to nibble a quick short here. I'm going to just try to nibble a very quick short here with a very tight stop. Let's put a buy stop here, and we're going to just have to kind of put a buy limit down here. It's going to be kind of a tight stop in here. Oh, they're building up at 77.80. I like seeing that. Let's just see if we can get a little move down here. I'm just going to kind of pop this up a little bit. I don't want to get wicked. But I like seeing them build up below here as well, and that kind of dropping off at 77.85. See if we can get a little move down here. See if we can snag a point or so. And hopefully not sit and chop. Please just don't wick me out. I'm going to move this up just above that wick there. And just get ready to kind of move her down if we see a little action there. All right, we're seeing a little down. Let's get some more downside there. Just want to flip back here. Yeah, it's trying to move down a little bit there. I typically have my chart open on one screen and my Periscope on the other, so I can kind of see both. All right, we're seeing a little move there. We're up a point, up about 1.5 points. Okay, it stopped me there. That's okay. Yeah, they're kind of building it a little bit there. Yeah, I typically when I'm not streaming because it's got to be on one screen here, but I typically will have my charts and trading portfolio, everything on one screen, and then my Periscope on the other. So like it's tough to kind of switch back and forth because you can miss a move quick and get hit on a stop. But that was a quick little, 78.04 to 78.03. I mean, we got a point there. That's what we were kind of looking for here. Point or two isn't bad, but yeah, they're building up down there at 77.80. I think they're going to kind of try to maybe pop us down there a little bit. We'll see if it keeps growing a little bit there, but you can see how they're just trying to kind of drag it down a teeny bit, but we're having issues getting away from this heavy gamma. Got 4 minutes ago. Oh, they're building up a little. So, okay, they built up a little bit above it too, but they're building up below it as well. I still like that kind of downside thesis there. You just see it kind of running it down a little bit now. And they're trying to kind of build up a little bit down here. Yeah, they're trying to kind of drop that there. We might get a shot for another trade here. If we keep trying to drop here and 77.85 kind of grows a little bit more, I wouldn't be against taking a very quick long here. But let's just kind of see what happens here because it's just not really moving too much here. I'm being very cautious too because, yeah, I'm getting a bunch of notifications on my phone, so Trump is it's the Strait of US now, I guess. Okay, interesting. It makes me not even want to touch anything right now when stuff like that's being said. And that's why, again, you hear me say there's headline risk over the weekend because, stuff like that can be said and you don't want to get caught in if there's a big escalation. Let's see. Just let's get a little pop here. What am I up on this today? Only yeah, not the best move there. I think I only took like one trade today, and it was like a $5 trade. Periscope was not very beautiful today for setups there. Yeah, just kind of hanging out between the two big negative gamma bars right now. Let's see if we get a big pop on one of these bars here and see if we can get a direction there. Again, we're trading right between those two. Like, I kind of like to sit on the extremes of those and then try to target. Like, this is a tough spot to kind of get anything. Let's just see what we get. Oh, they built that up there. I'm gonna nibble a very quick long here. I'm gonna put a stop down there, and I'm gonna put a buy stop up here. Nope, sell stop. Jeez. Nope, not sell. Jesus, Anthony, what are you doing? Oh no, I was correct. Sell limit. I was like, what am I doing? Jeez. Whew. Thank God it's Friday. I'm just gonna put this right there. So let's see. Yeah, they're building up there again. I think they're gonna try to maybe pop it a little bit here. All right, let's see. Let's pop it up a little bit. Come on, give us a couple points. Give us a quick pop here into close. Quicker pop. Bigger pop. Come on. No, 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 no. Don't wick it. Don't wick it. See, I'm scared to just pop over here quick. Yeah, they built up there. I think they're going to try to pop it here. That wick almost got me there too. All right, there we go. There's another 60. Let's pop. Okay, there we've got another little point there. Again, that's a nasty candle there too. That almost wicked us there too. That was very close. But yeah, I think they're gonna try to pop it a little bit here. Yeah, there's your little pop right there. There is a little pop there, and I mean we got 780, 7802, 7803. We got 2 points, so I mean that's $100 there. I think the fills kind of screwed us, but yeah, I mean, we're up almost $100 there. That's okay. Yeah, there's the big move there. There's the move we were looking for. Would have been nicer to been in that. Man, that would have sucked if that would have wicked us and then it would have popped. That's why I kind of try to keep my wicks down a little, or my stops a little lower, because if you would have got wicked there, that would have just been brutal. But yeah, good little move there. Look at that. We had 2 decent scalps there. But all right, you guys, that was a really quick live. But yes, the market is closed. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. But all right, you guys, I'm gonna hop off. Enjoy your weekend. Have a safe weekend. We'll catch you all Monday. Have a great weekend. See you guys.